So thank you for meeting us today in this way. We're the Choose teachers here at Corlears. My name's Brian.
Michelle.
And we'll just take a bit of time to talk through our program today, to tell you a little bit about us. And most importantly, we'll answer your questions at the end. So we'll get started, I suppose. One of the first things we usually like to talk about here at Corlears is play, and it's important in early childhood and children of this age. So in our classroom, we have blocks. We have dramatic play, which is a kitchen center now, and we have lots of tools. And through these tools and this different type of play, they can express their interests, they can find new interests, they can develop fine and gross motor skills, and basically learn more about each other. So we're a proponent of a play-based program, and we are a play-based program.
So in the beginning of our year, we have an adjustment process. The adjustment is a very gentle process. It starts with a home visit that the teachers will go to the children's home to meet them, and we like to try to find out some of their favorite things, maybe some books that they like, and start the connection in a place where they're comfortable. When they start the school year, they come in to our room in small groups, so we don't start with a whole group of 12. We start with a small group of 6, and we have a shorter classroom time. It's about 45 minutes, so we'll have 2 groups, each take turns. Once the whole group comes together, we make the time a little bit longer each day so that they have the time to gently adjust to being in school and adjust to the schedule. It's a nice way for them to be able to ease into the school year. And as far as separation goes, we try to work with each family, and it's really an individual process. Some children come right in and are ready to play, and some they're growing up in the room for a little bit longer, which is fine too. And we'll work with the families to find something that works for each child. And it's really very individual, and we don't know usually until we start the process, but we find something that eventually will work for everyone. And right now we're 2 classrooms of kids who come in and are happy to play. So,
and in addition to spending time with us throughout the day, there are 3 teachers in each room. So there's myself, and there are 2 other teachers who work to support me, and the same in Michelle's classroom. We have specialists who visit us. So we experience studio, which is our art class. We also have music. So a teacher comes in and does music and movement with the children. And then we also have a library. So during that time, our librarian visits the classroom and reads 3 books for the children. At this point in the year, our specialists are coming to us. So we have studio in the classroom, we have a library in the classroom, we have music in the classroom. But pretty soon, we're actually going to be bringing the children out of the classroom to take them upstairs and in our elevator in the school to visit specialists. So that'll be an exciting opportunity for them.
They love moving around the building.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Anytime they can get in the elevator.
The elevator song.
It's a great time. So that's our approach with specialists, very briefly.
Something that is very important to Corlears is parent involvement in the school, in the classroom. There's a very active community of parents. There are some really fun PA planned community events. You know, there's a picnic in the beginning of the year. We just had our grandparents' luncheon where the grandparents get to come in and learn a little bit about what the kids do in school. We welcome parents into the classroom after the adjustment period. Once all the kids are settled, we're very happy to have parents come in and share parts of their culture, maybe talk about a special holiday or celebrate a birthday in the classroom. We also have in the twos this year a number of class coffees where the parents get together with, depending on the subject of the coffee, it's with maybe one of our administrators who has a specialty in an area. It could be about separation in the beginning of the year. It could be about some other various topics later in the year. So the parents get together and get to talk about their experiences and what's happening. Another nice thing about Corlears is that the parent peer group, because it's elementary age kids, you will be with a group of your peers. So you'll see groups of parents out in the lobby talking to each other. It's a really nice, warm, inviting community, not just with the kids and the teachers, but with the parents as well.
And while at Corlears too, our children also experience buddy time. So our twos children are paired with an eights, nines classroom, and those children come to visit us. We come to visit them. We take different trips to our school together behind us outside of this window, if you can see. But basically, it's a great opportunity for our older kids to work alongside younger children, to support them, to care for them. It's a great opportunity for our younger children to share what's in their classroom, to share their interests, and to share themselves with other kids in our school as well. So it's a really nice kind of like mentoring exchange.
We see a different side of our kids sometimes when the buddies come and they get to meet the oldest kids that they know. It's really fun and sweet. And
we were saying earlier that when they're with buddies, we see, like Michelle was just saying, like sides to them we've never seen before. Like they're all of a sudden really excited or silly, and that might not be the side we typically see in the classroom, or maybe they're a bit shy or a little more playful than they typically are. But it's really nice to see how they respond to buddies during that.
Each age group really enjoys getting to share what they do. So our 8s, 9s really enjoy kind of caretaking our little 2s buddies, and our 2s really enjoy showing them what they do in their classroom. And it's sweet because some of our 8s, 9s get really excited to do some of the activities that we do in the 2s that they're not getting the opportunity to do anymore. So it's very fun to watch, and it's a thing that we enjoy doing. So not only do we have a partnership within the school with older kids and the younger kids, but we really value at Corlears our partnership with parents, partnership between parents and teachers. So one of the things that we do to keep communication going is we send out a newsletter every week. So every other week is a little bit different. The newsletter is something with a lot of descriptions about what we're doing in the room. And then every other week you get to ask me about, which is just lots of pictures of your kids having fun, all the different activities we're doing. And it's also great because it gives talking points. So a lot of times 2- and 3-year-olds don't like to talk about, or maybe they don't have the words to talk about yet everything that they're doing in the classroom, but that will give parents something, a starting point with some information. So you can say, oh, I see that you climbed on the climbing wall in the yard, or I see that you went to the gym this week, or sang a song and music. So that kind of gives the kids a way to give you more information and gives parents a starting point for that. Really, really pride ourselves in working with parents to make sure that children are having a fun experience in school, enjoying school, setting them up for a love of learning. That's our most important goal in the 2s, is kids to be happy and enjoy coming in every day. It's really important. Really pride ourselves that we partner with parents to find the best way to do that for each child.
So that's everything we have to say about the program so far. If you have you could take them now. It might be a little tricky to do questions, so just start speaking if you have a question, and we'll
And
We'll
make sure
it
that
work.
you unmute your microphones so we can hear you if you have a question.
We'll start each day with what's called an arrival work time. Oh, thank you, Michelle.
Work
It's
time.
wonderful. This is an arrival work time, and basically we'll just have some materials and tools out for the kids to work with. During that time, we say hello to them, each other, we put our things away, and it sets us up. Immediately after that, we'll have our morning circle.
Morning meeting.
There it is. And during that time, we'll sing a few songs together. We'll greet one another as a group, and then
kids use they have jobs. So one kid's job is to do the weather, be the weather helper, a people counter. They really love their jobs. They get really into their jobs and their job in the classroom is this week. They come in on Monday and they want to know what is their job this week.
Definitely. And then we go into another work time. We have blocks and dramatic play during that period of time. We'll work with clay, but more or less we have like materials that we call very open-ended for children so that they can pretty much make whatever they want or explore whatever they want with those materials. That's our next work time. And then we clean up and we wash our hands. So we wash our hands one at a time, and then we all sit.
Everything we do on schedule, even washing.
That's right. And we wash our hands, and then we'll sit down and we have a snack together. We balance the snack quite well. There's like a carb, a protein, a vegetable, those types of things. And we all do sit as a group to enjoy a meal. It's like one of the most beautiful things of the day. I love that so
It's
much.
when they get to talk to each other, and it's really sweet. At first we'll sit with them and we'll model conversation, and we'll say to them, why don't you ask your friends, how was your weekend? Are you enjoying your snack? And then it's very sweet to see by the end of the year, they start those conversations by themselves, and it's the cutest thing.
Afterwards, we have this like leisurely snack, and then we all go out to the yard. So the yard is off of our classroom. So you can see a window. Outside that window is our schoolyard, and we have a staircase leading from our room. So we head outside and we play for 45 minutes to an hour in the yard. And then back in, and we'll sit to have a little so we'll have a story time. And then the specialist comes in, and today it was
Cesar, the music teacher.
That's right. We did some nice music and movement activities. We come back for a closing circle, and that's where we say goodbye to each other. And then
sometimes we like to read a story and goodbye circle.
That's right. We sing some songs.
It's a nice time to decompress, to relax at the end of the day.
And then we say goodbye to each other.
Grown up time.
That's right. We start helping kids with their coats on, and they're out. So sometimes we'll have children in groups of 4 working on painting, clay, or building with blocks. Other times we'll do it as a full group. With our specialists, typically, particularly video, all of the children are in at the same time.
I would say for us as well, it depends on the project. So if it's a more structured project, then we'll have it during work time in small groups. And if it's more of an open, so last week we all played with shaving cream on the table. And so for that, we just let them all play. We put it all out because for something like that, it's something that they all really wanted to do. One of the things that we do is if there's an older sibling, we have snack dates. So sometimes one of the older kids will come down and have snack with us. One of the things that we did with our buddies for Thanksgiving was we had a feast together. And so the 8s, 9s came down to our classroom and we prepared, well, they prepared some dishes and we prepared together, and then we all went out to play in the yard together. And for that, we had both classes and both sets of buddies, so we had that interaction as well. Those are structured times. The snack dates are unstructured, and we can just plan those you know, whenever the family would like to do that, we have their friends come down, and it's very, sometimes some of our kids will go up and have a snack date with one of the other kids in one of the older classrooms.
And typically while we're out in the yard, older children are stopping by as well, just a couple at a time, usually to like take out compost, which is also in the yard. But during that time, they're interacting with them. So it's nice. A lot of it seems very natural. Those unstructured moments.
Yeah, very, very natural, casual interaction. Our time is 30 to 45 minutes every day. We have yard every day. So we go out when it's cold. Maybe we won't be out for 45 minutes when it's really cold, but we'll go out every day unless it's raining. If it rains, we have the opportunity to go spend some time in the gym, run around in the gym, but we really try to get them outside every day. We feel like it's really important, and there are a lot of things in the yard that they enjoy doing that are also kind of part of the exploration of our TWOS program. You know, they love to dig, they love to find leaves. Our class earlier this year was really into finding slugs in the yard, and every time it rained, we would come out afterwards and they would look for the slugs, and we would watch them, and we would see their trails all over the yard. You know, we feel like the outdoor time is really important, and we really try to make sure that we get out with them every single day.
In the TWOS is what we call like emergent curriculum. So basically, if children are interested in the woodlands, if children are interested in particular animals, projects that are based on those interests. Typically in the TWOS program, there isn't like a set list of projects that we'll do throughout the year. It's more authentic and in response to the children. So yes, we do project-based work, and it's really decided upon by the kids we study.
It's based off of their interests, so what they're doing is of high value to them. And that is really the way to learn when it's something that's important. So a lot of the language that we use is modeling how to have those social interactions and how to work well with other kids. But it's just constant modeling for most of the day. We do a lot of read alouds. Another thing that we do is everything in our room is labeled. So you'll see, the tree says tree on it, and we have the first letter. We'll highlight the first letter. Start getting the beginning sound. And we have a picture of them also, so that they connect the picture to the actual object and the letters and the sounds of that object as well. Yeah. So yeah, it is just, constant reinforcement of the language that we should use, and eventually they get it, eventually they understand it. But it is harder when they're younger, when they don't have the language. So, we're always around. The nice thing is that we have 12 kids and 3 teachers in the room, so we can always station and make sure that we're watching the groups interact. And I mean, for me, I like to see how they interact before I kind of put myself in there. So we're always around and we're watching, and if we see some friends having a little bit of a hard time sharing, then we'll come in and we'll tell them, oh, Brian was using this first. If you'd like to have a turn, you can ask him, Brian, can I have a turn? And then we'll wait for Brian to have his turn, and we'll just basically, take them through the conversation. Mm-hmm. And so in the beginning of the year, it's a lot of that for us. And by the end of the year, they do get to a point where, they can do a little bit of on their own, which is kind of, that's the starting point, and that's where we want them to be in the 2 so that they can move on and have their social groups in the 3s and 4s and so on. $12 is the most, the max for the 2s. So 12 kids and 3 teachers. And then as they get older, so I believe the 3s, 4s class this year has 16 kids and 2 teachers. And then the 3 after 12, 15. And so then the 4s will be less in the class once they hit the 4. So in the afternoon, the 4s have around 8 kids per class with the 2 teachers. As they get older, I think there's always, with the exception of the 10s, 2 teachers in the room, right? And the average class. Average class size is around 16 with 2 teachers, usually, except in the 10s, there's 1 teacher.
The reason we have 5 days is to provide the kids with as much consistency as possible. And I think our experience has been that if children are through the day experiencing a similar schedule and around the same people, that they develop a greater comfort in their space, and like they start to see their teachers as caregivers as well. So really for us, it's about, providing the children with enough consistency to feel comfortable and successful in their setting. And we've had good luck with that,
I can speak a little bit from experience, not at Corlears. At my previous school, I taught both a class that was 2 and 3 days, as well as a class that was 5 days a week. And I really found that the 5-day-a-week program really provided the kids with the stability, the consistency. They adjusted so much faster. We were able to do throughout the school year so much more because they were so comfortable in the room. In the class that I taught that was 2 days a week, if we had one snow day or one holiday, then they don't see us for a whole week. And sometimes it felt like, they would take so long to reacclimate that we really couldn't get to the point where we really wanted to. And I mean, speaking from a teacher's perspective and doing a 2-day, 3-day program versus a 5-day program, I love the 5-day program. It is the consistency and the routine is so important to these kids at this age that, for me, I feel like that's the way to go for me personally.
And as Michelle was talking about earlier, we have an adjustment schedule. So we really work our way slowly into being here until noon or 11:45, 5 days a week. So we're spending, half an hour in the classroom with a group of 6 kids and then going home, and we have another group of 6 for half an hour to an hour. And we experiment or explore with that for some time before all 12 kids are coming in together. And even at that time, we just have them in for small amounts of time, then they're going home. And we're getting them used to routine, to the structure of school, to the feeling of school, to us, to the new children. And yeah, it's just that consistency in structure is helpful.
And with the adjustment, because the consistency just helps them adjust so much faster, and I feel like makes a much stronger base for them. And I feel like the 5 days is so helpful during adjustment, especially during adjustment.
Yeah. We're a play-based school, and there are many play-based schools, but that's something that differentiates us from others. So we firmly believe that children learn best through play, so we're providing them a ton of opportunities to interact with different types of materials and tools, and through project-based learning, and different opportunities of structured and unstructured play. And that's really how we're introducing all of our early concepts of language and mathematics, and writing is as simple as using crayon on paper. We really allow for this exploration of materials and tools, and we really honor student interests and their individual needs.
And one of the things that I really like, coming from a school that was just a preschool, coming to Corlears, which goes up through age 10, you know, a lot of the things that we do, or even a lot of the ways that, you know, we structure our classrooms. For instance, we all follow the responsive classroom model. So that's like a teacher language that we use, and that continues on through the years. And it's really interesting for me to see how that develops and grows. And I think that it's really helpful for kids to have that consistency through all the years. And that exploration, I think, always consistent throughout the years.
And also, we're a very small school, so we run, you know, nursery through 5th grade, but you know, our class sizes are small. We're all located in the same building, and there are only 2 classrooms per grade. And for me personally, I feel like that's something that differentiates us, that we're a small school that feels like a community.
It's a very tight-knit community. Whether it be the kids or the parents or the teachers.
Absolutely. Basically, it's a way of, it's a form of like classroom management, more or less. So basically, it's like there's a process to introducing materials there, for instance, where you introduce the material to your entire class. As a teacher, you all practice using it together. You know, if the situation allows, you can talk about what you did and how you used the material. And then you always model putting the material away. So it really is just setting up routines and expectations for children that are friendly and support their learning and support their exploration and their play. And there's, you know, specific language that accompanies that. So materials and tools is often one of those pieces of language that we're going to use this material today. It's called a crayon, something like that. But yeah, I hope that helps. Just that small answer, but it's a pretty big, responsive classroom is a pretty big.
It's language. Yeah. It's basically the way that the classroom is structured. It continues on from 2s all the way up to age 10. That's right. A lot of our kids are turning 3. So we already have in our room, we already have 4 kids who've turned 3. So, and one of them turned 3 at the beginning of September. So actually before our school year even started, she turned 3. But
we actually have
in the 2s
together. In my classroom, we actually have a set of twins, and they're both here in the room. So, you know, it's in the 2s, yes, usually keeping twins together, but it's also, you know, we will take your input as parents there as well, in deciding as to whether or not we'll keep children together if they're twins or in separate classrooms. So. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope it was helpful.